Just going through a webcam or something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That's what we thought.
It says right there, microphone blue snowball.
Well, now it does, but last week it didn't.
I'm looking right now. Blue snowball.
Into the past.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking right there. Blue snowball.
All right, then.
Blue.
If that's the way you're going to play it.
Yo, listen up. Here's my story.
Yeah.
About a little microphone that's blue. And all day and all night and everything. He is blue and everyone is blue like him.
All right.
Blue, blue, blue.
Hello and welcome to episode 450 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 23rd, 2015. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me as always from Canada. Is it still snowing up there? Hey, Mr. Greg Seward.
It is not snowing up here. Although we did get a frost warning for tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's in the 90s down here.
It is the 90s and there's time for clacks.
Always. And from California, Mr. Filthy Evolved.
Hello.
Hello, cousin.
Yeah, well, what is you?
What is happening?
What is you?
You guys have a good Father's Day?
I had a grand Father's Day.
Yeah, I enjoyed my Father's Day.
Yeah.
Had some breakfast in bed and a couple little presents, some homemade cards. Not bad.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Gotta love the homemade cards.
Yep, I love the homemade cards.
Those are fun.
My son gave me a drawing of he and I sitting on the couch playing Ninja Turtles together.
Aww.
That's great.
Yeah.
How nice is that? My wife took Finn to the store, and Finn got to pick out a present for me. And Finn knows me all too well.
Lego?
No, he got me a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Nice.
From Jurassic World. So.
Nice.
Granted, it was one of those presents that he kind of wanted for himself, sort of deals, but...
To be fair, I'm sure half the stuff you give him is something you actually want for yourself.
Shut up. He's not supposed to know about that. But it works out nicely, so...
I got this like fold-out keychain thing. It's pretty nice. It has a USB stick on it as well for all the downloading. And we went to lunch at this ramen place.
No?
It was really, really good. And then I spent some time at the Southern Fried Game Room Expo. It was going on in Atlanta this past weekend.
So does Charlotte eat a lot of ramen, or?
No, she doesn't eat any. Usually has like the kids' rice at those places.
And the Southern Fried Game Expo?
Game Room Expo.
A lot of like racism. Is that the theme of the day for games?
No, I don't think so. No,
okay,
none of that.
Okay.
None of that. Just pinball and arcade games. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Played some Hydro Thunder, which, as you know,
of course you did,
is one of my favorite games. But
did you check the back of the cabinet to see if it came from Ziff Davis? Like, were your initials carved in the back of the cabinet? That'd be amazing.
CJ Hearts HT. I do remember.
But it had been a long time since I spent any time with the Hydro Thunder, and the magic just wasn't happening. Wasn't
really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That world record.
I blame the machine.
Yeah, that's what I'd do.
It was. Yeah, I wasn't on pace for my normal record.
Oh man.
On Lost Island, unfortunately.
It's too bad.
So, E3 happened.
When was that?
Last week.
Okay.
Greg and I did a podcast with Back in My Play with Josh Hillier and Kevin Larrabee and talked about the press conferences.
That's cool, guys. I hope you had fun.
It was great.
Yeah.
More fun than our regular show, strangely enough. I'm not sure what the
I bet
what the difference was.
I bet it was.
We had really tall co-hosts. They're really tall.
You can see more than their foreheads on the camera.
That's
That's right. But that was a lot of fun. So for listeners who want to go back and listen to that,
I watched
there you go.
So how about that Nintendo?
that was hard to watch.
Should we talk about that, or
Why not?
go right into the Nintendo?
Nintendo, and here's how Nintendo was. Nintendo was just like getting repeatedly cock blocked. It's like, oh hey, guess what? We got a new Zelda game. Yay, new Zelda, and it's just kind of like Four Sword Adventures, and which wasn't, the best game.
Three Sword Adventures.
And it's all multiplayer based, and okay. But hey, guess what? There's a new Metroid game. Oh, fantastic! I can't wait. I love Metroid, and it's kind of like a multiplayer arena shooter, and it's friggin' Ball Blazer, and Samus isn't even in it, so don't even worry about it. And, but we have a new Animal Crossing game. Oh boy, I do so love Animal Crossing, and it's a board game, and you need to have amiibos to play it, or else you can't play it. So well, okay. And there's a brand new Mario game. Oh, I'm so excited about this new Mario game. Oh, and it's Excel document spreadsheet type tutorial program.
You have to make it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it yourself, Mario.
I'll tell you what, that looks. Oh man, friggin' Mario Maker.
That looks great.
That's. I'm gonna sit back and watch Seward try and convince us how Mario Maker didn't look that great.
Oh, I thought it looked amazing.
Okay.
I'm not buying it.
Backpedal?
I thought it looked amazing.
You gonna backpedal then?
Wait, did you say you're not buying it?
I'm not buying it.
Oh, interesting.
I find that hard to believe.
No, I'm not buying it.
Really?
Okay. No.
Okay.
But you're buying the amiibos.
Well, probably.
That's, I mean, who isn't buying those?
Yeah.
Now, Mario Maker looks amazing, and Paper Jam looks like it's going to be pretty awesome.
They're due for a good Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi.
Word.
So, why not both?
Yeah. But everything else was
pretty forgettable.
Disappointing at best.
Mostly stuff we knew about. That was the real disappointment. We already knew about Star Fox, and we knew about Happy Home Designer. And we wanted to see a Zelda, and we're disappointed.
Yep.
And then Hyrule Warriors leaked like a week before.
Right.
So that wasn't that exciting. And we knew everything about Super Mario Maker, more or less. So.
Yep. Although I guess it turns out that Animal Crossing board game is free to play. So
you just have to buy the amiibo?
Right. Is that
so? That's technically not free to play then.
Right, but it's free. It's free to download. But
yeah, okay.
So, but I guess
it doesn't look fun though. Like,
I know,
watch the Treehouse Live session. It was just like, this looks boring.
It's weird though that an important detail like that didn't get brought up at all during the actual event. That it's a free download kind of thing.
It was the same thing with Star Fox. They didn't mention who was making Star Fox during the event.
But they did
They
after.
didn't. They didn't, did they?
Nope.
In the Treehouse Live section, they did.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Seriously, the only real memorable part of that whole Nintendo thing was the puppets at the beginning.
Yeah, the puppets were pretty great.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
I think part of it was during the digital event when they were showing footage of the games. They didn't really explain all that much. Like, they left a lot of the explanation stuff for the Treehouse Live section, and it would have been better to hear more about Star Fox while we're seeing it.
Yeah,
they were a little too light. I mean, I appreciate them doing that because you gotta tease the rest of your broadcast. But I mean, speaking as somebody with a full-time job, I didn't have time to sit there and watch Treehouse Live for 3 days straight. Like,
right.
So give me the basic information I need.
Give me the highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Fire Emblem game that they showed also. They had the trailer for it a month or two ago. It's like, why even?
Yeah, all they showed was the trailer, and they didn't give you any information on it. It's just like, here's the new Fire Emblem trailer. Great.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah. But by all accounts, the Metroid Federation Force game, all the hands-on reports that I've heard from the show have been pretty positive about it.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw the petition I made.
Oh my god.
I'm really
You know,
hoping that we can get that game banned and everyone involved fired.
I will say that I think the worst thing that happened to that game was finding out that it was the Metroid game. Because
Yeah.
I remember us sitting here talking about the Nintendo World Championships last week, and I think all three of us said that game looked pretty cool, kind of interesting, like.
Yeah, when we thought it was a free-to-play, downloadable online battle game, we're like, oh, right, I'll give that a shot. And then when it was like, oh, it's Metroid Prime, and it's part of this other game that's also multiplayer. Yeah.
Although I have to say too, like the reaction to the Nintendo stuff has been stupid. Like people need to grow up. It's where was it? Was it Eurogamer? There was some. I don't know if it was Eurogamer or not, but it was some website running a story on the reactions to the not the conference, the direct, and and the Nintendo's responses and that sort of thing. And like you said, the petition about Metroid, which I don't even know if you're joking or not, but if it's true, it doesn't surprise me.
It is real. It's real.
People saying like they were crying and screaming at their monitors, like get a grip. It's a video game company. Like you're being an idiot.
But I think, like we said in the E3 wrap up with Back in My Play, they had like an opportunity to do some cool stuff, like announce some more Mario Kart stuff, or say something about Splatoon, which is totally lighting everything on fire right now. And why did they separate Smash Brothers stuff, which could have been exciting, inside the digital event? Like, why even bother breaking that out?
Oh, there's no question that they had some major missteps in how they handled all of it. I'm not saying don't be disappointed. I'm just saying don't be a jackass.
Don't start a petition to have a game that you've not even played.
Send nasty tweets to Next Level Games or just come on.
Threats against Next Level Games, right? Ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. And then the Iwata tweet that came out, sort of thanking everybody and saying that they'll try to do better.
Well, but then there was a clarification on that too, wasn't there? I forget where it came from, saying like that was not an apology.
Oh, right, it's not an apology.
Reggie came out.
Listening
to the feedback and
You got to wonder which intern got to delete the "dear assholes" from the beginning of that tweet.
Yeah. Disappointing, though. Disappointing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Although, hey, Super Mario Maker, that thing looks great.
Agreed.
I like the collector packaging they're doing with that, and the booklet that it comes with is awesome.
And it comes with the Nintendo World Champion courses.
Yep.
Which is
That's
fantastic.
Cool. That yeah.
And also, like a lot of people were saying, oh, it doesn't come with a full Mario campaign, but there's that mode in it. It's called 100 Marios, right? Where you have 100 lives to get through 100 top-rated user-created levels.
Wasn't 99 Marios the name of something that we were supposedly going to see on the GameCube at one point? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It stayed on release lists forever.
It sure did.
It's never anything but a tech demo, but it stayed on release lists forever.
Yeah. But that thing looks great, and I'll buy those amiibos for sure.
Yeah.
I'll probably get some Animal Crossing amiibos, even though I have no interest in the board game.
Are you going to download the board game, though, since you're going to have the amiibos anyway?
Might as well.
I probably will.
Yeah.
But that really looks boring.
Yeah, it does.
It
does.
Yeah. Ugh. And people were commenting on Star Fox that Star Fox looks like an up-resed N64 game.
I thought it looked like fun.
I
enjoyed what I saw of that game. I'll play that game.
I'll play that game too.
I pre-ordered it 2 years ago, I think. So.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to the other gamepad games that Miyamoto showed last year? Remember that robot, like
Oh
one-on-one
yeah.
robot fighting game, and then the
Hmm.
like tower defense thing that they had rolling last year?
That's coming out with stage debut.
Yeah, tossed into the pile of
I
things
love it.
Nintendo has shown publicly that we'll never
Yeah,
actually play officially.
exactly.
Yeah. So, and did you guys see the Nindy at E3 thing that's going on the eShop?
I have not looked at that, and I think it's probably, if it's not over, it's almost over, right?
Yeah, it's over tomorrow. Like, why did they not even talk about this on the
I know.
digital event either? It's like they've got 6 or 8 indie games that have demos right now on the eShop, and if you download them, you get like 15% off the titles when they actually go on
Right.
sale. And it's good stuff too. It's like the Mutant Muds
Yeah.
Super Challenge
Oh,
thing.
really? I'm gonna have to
Run Yeah, I
download
mean,
those
there's
tonight.
there's like a lot of good games in there, and they didn't say anything about it.
Nope.
God, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Hmm.
Should we talk about Shenmue 3?
What is it at now? 3.5 million?
Yeah,
Yeah, call me when it gets to 5.
Still not enough.
Iga's like rolling his eyes, saying, "Oh, that's cute."
what do you guys think about the calls for needing to see the whole budget?
I think
Because-
that's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
Because, like, yeah, sorry, you don't need to see the whole budget. Not only are like 99% of the people who see that going to even understand what it is, but then it's just, like, there's no way that
That's
game
a
to a
that's a
budget.
pretty generous percentage, by the way.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
yeah. What would it change? Really? I mean,
Yeah,
for these Kickstarters, if you knew the actual budget, would that encourage people to fund it, or would that discourage people from spending money on it?
yeah, exactly. It's like, well, if the budget's 8 million, then my $100 isn't going to make a difference, so I'm not going to do it.
Right, exactly.
Like, are people going to think that way or what? Who knows? Like, they asked for what they asked for. They think they've got the money in place, so you're taking a risk just like you are on any other Kickstarter.
Yep.
I will say that it does seem a little bit weird that they announced this Kickstarter during a press conference, and I don't know. I get this weird feeling that they don't even really know what direction they're going to go with it. Isn't one of the goals now like a full open world environment or something like that?
Yeah, I
Like,
think that was one of the stretch
what,
goals.
what was the scope of this third game going to be then? Like, what were they thinking
Well, that's
they were
just
going to actually offer? And then are people dropping hundreds of dollars on a sequel that they're not going to be happy with ultimately?
risky take.
It's
Yeah.
a very risky take.
I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why I think that budgets don't get shared, and I really think that people would be shocked if they did see a real development budget
Sure.
and just how expensive these games are to make. Like,
Well, what was it with the Skullgirls?
yeah,
Remember when
that's
they
right.
said like, "Oh, we're going to add a new character to Skullgirls, and we're going to need X amount of money," and
Yeah.
people started flipping out like, "That's ridiculous! There's
All
no
the
way."
armchair quarterbacks started coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
All you have to do is do some animation and put it in the game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
done.
make a new
It's easy.
character. It's just drawing a new character. That's easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
It's
just
people
like,
have no
I mean,
idea.
it's just like, it's just like the outcry over what was Assassin's Creed last year about,
Right.
they're rightfully so about the whole female character thing.
Sure.
That is true, that there should have been an option to play a female character in the game, yes. But then the people who said, well, the game's not done yet, it should be easy to just add in a female character. All you got to do is reskin the male character.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not easy. Like, it's not that simple. Things.
all right.
And even without that work, they shipped an incomplete game.
Exactly. So obviously, it really wasn't an option. All you need is another set of floating eyeballs.
Yeah.
Non-gender specific.
Yeah. I mean, Sony's press conference did really pull out all of the fan favorites, right? I mean, yeah, you kicked it off with The Last Guardian, then
Yeah.
it went into Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue 3. It's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
pulling out all the stops there.
The only thing was though that it did pull out all the fan favorites and it was awesome, but at the same time, like after a while, you kind of felt like they have nothing to show for this year. They're really pandering to get the goodwill going. Like Shenmue being a great example. Yes, they're definitely they're obviously helping with development, but at the same time, that really had nothing to do with their showing.
And that game is so far off too,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah.
2017 at least.
Yeah.
So
So anyway,
yeah, where was Rockstar in all this?
Hmm.
I think there was some expectation that we'd hear something about a new Red Dead Redemption.
don't know.
Yeah.
No
They're in
such
that
luck.
enviable position where they can play their cards really close to the chest, though, because anything, if they bring out a Red Dead Redemption and they talk about it like 3 months before it happens, it'll still sell like crazy. Same with the
Sure.
Grand Theft Auto. They can do whatever they want with PR for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
Pretty
more
much.
important for the manufacturers, to get that into the show than vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. Phil, did you watch the press conferences?
Well, I watched the Nintendo one and the Sony one.
You watched Sony? What did you think of Sony?
I thought it's pretty much what Greg said. It was, very much a, hey, we're trying to get attention from people on the internet by bringing out all these fan favorites, but
Mhm.
then end of the day, it's like, well, that stuff's still a ways off. So
Yeah.
I really liked all the Vita stuff they showed, though. It gives me a lot of faith in the Vita as a platform. So
I was shocked
Yeah.
to see even an image of it at one point.
Well, apparently it had a tiny, minuscule presence actually on the show floor.
Go
It's
figure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is sad. What do you think they're going to do with the Vita? Are we going to see a Vita successor, or is it just going to wrap up and be done with?
I don't know. Do you take another chance on that stuff at this point?
I can't imagine they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's always Japan, though, right?
hmm,
I don't think the Vita is that successful in Japan either.
yeah.
I don't even really know.
Yeah.
It just seems like an awful lot of R&D and money spent to not really have much of an impact.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
Hmm.
Phil, what do you think about Microsoft? Did you watch any of that?
I didn't see too much of Microsoft just because I have no.
No Xbox One.
There are two games I'm interested on the Xbox One at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Crackdown 3 was not there.
Crackdown was not there. I'll tell you what, though, Cuphead looks beautiful.
Oh my god.
It sure does.
That's the second Xbox One game I'm looking forward to. So,
Yep.
yeah.
But you got to assume that'll be... Isn't that PC as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, so...
it is.
But I'll be all over that when it comes out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
looks really, really nice.
What about backwards compatibility?
What
Phil?
about it?
What do you
What about
think of that? What do you think of that?
I think it allows you to play old games on your new system.
Yeah.
You trying to sell me an Xbox One on that?
No.
You could...
So-
I mean, you can play Perfect Dark.
Ooh. You know what? I will say that Rare Collection's pretty great.
I love the
Yeah.
Perfect Dark Zero as part of it.
I know, right?
And
As-
Cameo.
As someone who's not really a fan of Rare's stuff for the most part, they do have some games on there that. Well, I mean, they have Blast Core on there, which
They do.
Yeah.
is worth the $30 or whatever they're charging for it. So
It seemed
Yeah.
it seemed to me at first that it's like you can tell this is being done by Microsoft because all of the Rare Microsoft games are on there, but they didn't have Grab by the Ghoulies, did they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Oh, do they?
it's on
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they did not
But
forget
yeah, it's
Grabbed
just
by
like
the
you
Ghoulies.
see things like Perfect Dark Zero on there. It's like
right.
that doesn't really stand up to pretty much anything else on this compilation. Like
Yeah.
No.
it doesn't really belong there.
What about
But-
Cameo? Come on.
Cameo wasn't a terrible game. It just wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
I liked Cameo. It was
Cameo
okay.
was
It was
okay.
it was
I
the,
love
the
going
knack
back-
of the 360 launch.
Exactly. I love going back to those 360 launch games and looking at the HUD elements.
Oh,
where
Oh,
it's just
jeez.
like They're so huge compared to like some of the HD menus and HUD elements that we have nowadays, where it's just like you can barely read it on your 60-inch television.
Sitting 5 feet from my 60-inch TV and I'm still squinting at it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You remember when Dead Rising got shit for being unreadable on?
I do, yeah. Because it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Even worse nowadays.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah,
man.
I think backwards compatibility is one of those things where it's important before you have purchased a next generation platform, and then once you have one, it sort of ceases to be relevant.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a way to bulk up the library before you've gone out and bought a bunch of games.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I mean it is, and I know we got excited about it on the BIMP Cross P1P show.
That's right.
But when you really think about it, it's like it's cool for people like us because we collect games, and I've got a bunch of 360 games sitting here and a bunch of digital games that I still like to play once in a while. So
Yeah.
it's great that I don't have to bust out my old 360 for that stuff. In theory, right now you still do because there's only like 10 games. But, or is it 20? Anyway.
No, it's 10.
The point being, it's like from a general consumer standpoint, you want that backwards compatibility day one. So I don't have to go out and spend $400 on games just so I have like 5 games to play on my new console.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But it's nice. I mean, you fiddled around with it, CJ, and I did as well this week. I was actually playing the Perfect Dark re-release on XBLA, and it's really cool that, you know, I mean, it's a virtual machine, and it's linked to your account, and you've got all your achievements, and you've got all your save files if you had them uploaded to the cloud. Like, they're doing it. It's a far cry from the way they handled it on the 360. The 360 was screwed with the backwards compatibility setup. This is really nice.
Cool.
Yeah. It is. I actually wonder what Sony really doesn't have a response to it, but they didn't even say anything about PlayStation Now during their press conference.
Curious how that's going for them.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for that? Got anything else? Anything else you guys want to say about E3?
Did anyone try or CJ, I guess, did you try the Gears beta?
I haven't.
I did not, strangely enough.
I downloaded it, but I haven't tried it yet.
I haven't even downloaded it yet. I should maybe try
I
that
redeemed
today.
the code. There were 2 codes that I had to redeem.
Oh, yeah?
One is to tell them you're interested in it, and then another code to actually download the client.
It's funny.
So, yeah. Got to stay in that preview program, man. That preview program pays off benefits. They're getting you into all the betas, getting you that backwards compatibility. It's good. Yeah. Just saying. All right, how about we talk about Fallout Shelter for a moment here? And
iPhone.
the reason I want to bring this up is just how much of a unicorn this game is in terms of
A robot unicorn?
in terms of mobile gaming. I mean, so they announced the game on Sunday night, and it came out in the App Store. For right now, it's exclusive to iOS, but I guess it will be coming to Android at some point. And it has done basically the impossible by breaking its way into the top 5 top grossing apps without doing any paid user acquisition, which all the games that are in the top grossing do, you know, Facebook ads and ads all over the place to get more people in the door, to keep spending and keep their spot in top
I don't know. I
grossing.
mean, they spent money on that conference they announced it at.
I guess you're right. They did. I'm sure it's a lot less than what the Clash of Clans guys spend.
True.
Supercell spends on a daily basis to get people in the door on that game.
I'm guessing they also spent millions on that companion app for the Xbox One and the PS4 and the PC. You know, Fallout 4, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, the companion app to Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right.
No, but I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's burning it up, and it's not doing any of the usual free-to-play stuff. I mean, you can buy lunch boxes, I guess, in
Yeah,
the game.
it does do some of it. I mean, you
does
will get to
that.
the point where you're sitting there waiting for something to happen.
Right, but it doesn't push you as much as
No.
some games do. And it is making money hand over fist. It's making like $1 million a day
Good Lord.
in revenue.
Yeah.
At that position on the top grossing spot, they're pulling down close to $1 million a day. So that's pretty big.
You're gonna see another flurry of everyone doing apps again.
Really.
You may see that, but
Until everyone realizes they can't replicate that performance.
exactly. I mean, yeah, the only reason that game is where it is because of Fallout 4, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and it's getting hardcore gamers who are against all these free-to-play tactics to clearly spend money in this game.
One of the things that I really like about it, and I don't know if you want to talk about the game itself a little bit later in what you've been playing or what, but I like that the speed up mechanic is not based on soft or hard currency.
Right.
Just, yes, you can put a rush on this, but you are actually risking everything going to hell, right? Like, I like that it's an in-game risk as opposed to forcing you to pay. That's the reason that I can actually stand the whole standard, like, free-to-play, okay, you have to wait 5 minutes before this room coughs up some resources. Because you can take the chance based on how you've set up the room and hope for the best, but you don't have to spend $1 to do it or something.
Sure. But yeah, $1 million a day.
There you go. Jealous?
Yes.
Mr. iOS developer?
Yes. Why, yes, I am.
Yes. I mean, the other thing is that I doubt we'll see this type of thing happening again, or at least it'll take something special for it to happen again. I think when Nintendo brings out their first mobile free-to-play game, I think you'll see it happen then. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think it's going to be easily repeatable at all.
Right.
So.
Well, you yourself said that top grossing list has stayed stagnant for quite a while.
18 months.
Yeah.
Jeez, stayed the same.
Yeah, it's not happening again.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Hey, Greg. We know that you have a lot of pre-orders around E3 time, so I just wanted to do a quick check here and see how many games you pre-ordered this year.
All right. Well, caveat. So Amazon was the deal this year. Amazon.ca had a great deal on. It was 30% off if you pre-ordered 3 or more games. 30% off per game. And it was actually a little bit better than Future Shop and Best Buy have been in the past, because I believe with the Future Shop and Best Buy ones, if the game was a little cheaper naturally, like, say, a 3DS game, you didn't get a discount. So anyway, before I went and pre-ordered my games from Amazon, I went back and checked to see how many pre-orders I had left from the other 2 deals over the last 2 years. And there's still 18 games left on that list.
Wow.
But I mean, some of that stuff is like, one of them is The Last Guardian. One of them is the new Zelda. Like, there's, stuff that's still 2 or 3 years away, probably, in some respects. So anyway, I went through the Amazon list. Do I have to give you a whole list?
Yeah. Let's hear the list.
All right.
I pre-ordered something this year too.
Oh, really?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered Rock Band 4.
I pre-ordered Ratchet and Clank.
Nice.
Not sure why I've just turned the light off.
That game is so exciting.
Yes, it's going to be good.
Really.
Okay. I pre-ordered Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
The Xbox, which I actually have an existing pre-order on the PS4. I'm going to cancel because it's coming out on Xbox first. Beyond that, we get Transformers Devastation, Rare Replay, Gears of War 4, South Park: The Fractured Butthole, Devil's Third.
Oh!
Ratchet and Clank.
I get it.
Did you just get that right now?
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Fire Emblem Fates, Mario Luigi Paper Jam, Horizon Zero Dawn, Recore, F1 2015, Until Dawn, Mighty Number 9 PlayStation 4. I had to do it.
Yeah.
NHL 16, Nier, World of Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, which won't be until at least 2017, Doom, Fallout 4, and Tearaway Unfolded. It's 21 games, I think, total.
That's pretty good. Good list.
I just pre-ordered Transformers.
Yeah, I couldn't let that go.
No.
I had to get it. So.
Yep.
Nier, and I mean, like, this is just like any other one. I'm mostly just like pre-ordered anything I was even remotely interested in, because if I get it and I don't like it, I'll be able to resell it for pretty much what I paid for it, like within a week. So,
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Nice.
But yeah, like things like it's the same thing as anything else. Like the Final Fantasy 7 remake as an example. Like from everything that I've been hearing, that game's not even under development yet.
Right.
So I mean, it's a good 2 years away. I'm guessing what we're going to hear is that is going to be a 20th anniversary release. So that makes it a 2017 game, and they're going to miss it. Because I think they did the exact same thing with the Final Fantasy X remake, where it was supposed to be a year anniversary release, and they didn't actually make that.
Right.
It's really dark in here. I'm going to go turn the light back on.
You look better
in the darkness.
Yeah. The less you can see of Greg,
the better.
The better he looks.
So I pre-ordered Rock Band 4.
Uh-huh.
There's no bundle that comes with a digital copy of the game and a guitar. I would have bought that, but yeah. So I'm getting. I originally pre-ordered the Band in the Box, which was like $250.
Yeah.
That was all that was available at the time, and then I canceled it when Amazon put up the guitar bundle. Because that's all I really play with Rock Band. I don't know that I'm going to pre-order or even buy Guitar Hero Live. I might wait until that's on the bargain bin.
So,
wow.
Shortly after release?
Maybe. Maybe. You might be right.
You might want to wait.
Maybe I will end up with it, but
you're going to wait those 8 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a Rock Band guy anyway.
I am a Rock Band
Guitar Hero guy.
That's true. It's true. All right. I think that's it for news.
Yeah.
So why don't we just bust on into what we've been playing?
Oh.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us about the game you've been playing?
I've not been playing anything other than more Lego Jurassic World.
Yeah.
So that's I already talked about it some last week. I don't want to waste more time talking about it. It's more Lego game. I am through the Jurassic Park and Lost World segments of the game.
So all the good movies you've played through.
Well, no, there's still the pterodactyl scene from Jurassic Park 3.
That was really good.
That was cool and kind of creepy and everything.
I don't even remember it.
I liked Jurassic Park 3. Is that wrong to say?
Yeah.
It's a little wrong to say, but I will still defend the Pteranodon pterosaur. I forget which specific prehistoric animal that was, but
yeah.
But that scene when it comes crawling out over the bridge, that's creepy stuff. I liked it.
Yeah.
But
I really don't remember any of this.
It's okay. It's okay. It had William H. Macy in it. You remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah. So you can play as William H. Macy in this game.
And why wouldn't you want to?
That's true. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you play him in his Fargo character? Can you do that?
Well, you know what? There's a create a character.
Really?
Yeah, you can create a character in the Lego games.
But see, without the accent, though.
Well, that's you add that yourself.
Okay.
While you play,
Yeah, real good there now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been playing it with my son, which has been quite a bit of fun.
Now, did he also see the movie or the Jurassic?
Yeah, he's a big fan of the movie. Big fan of the movie. The part where Sam Jackson gets his arm ripped off, he loved it. He was just like, take that.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being completely serious.
Okay.
And it's not even because he's a dinosaur fan. which of course he is. He's 3, but he's a big Sam Jackson fan. So ever since he saw Pulp Fiction, he
I was going to
wants
say ever since Pulp Fiction.
everything. You need to see everything that Sam Jackson's in. So
That's right.
yeah,
My 8-year-old hasn't even seen Jurassic Park yet.
no, he has not seen. He's
Have
not
you
seen
have you seen? And you guys probably haven't seen it. The movie Kingsman.
I want to see that.
Oh, Bill Murray, the bowling movie. It's funny.
No.
Funny.
No. That's not
Pretty sure.
what I'm talking
Pretty
about.
sure. Yeah.
It's from the director of Kick-Ass 2, I think. Anyway,
Ooh.
so we watched
Kick-Ass
it.
2, not a good movie.
We watched it.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty violent movie.
No shit.
And there's one scene in particular that's extremely violent, and we had not sent Charlotte to bed quite yet, but she was like playing with toys. And
Okay.
once that scene started, she looked at the TV, and I had to like pause it,
Hmm.
and we had to continue that movie later when she
What
was not around.
What got me, because like I said, my 8-year-old hasn't even seen the first Jurassic Park, and they were begging, my 2 oldest were begging me to take them to see Jurassic World, and I, without even seeing it, I was like, no,
Right.
I'm not taking you to see it, because I just, there's going to be people getting eaten, there's going to be dismemberment, and I mean, there's a scene in the movie where like blood just splatters all over the camera at one point. So, and actually there were people in our theater that had small children with them.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Movie. But I think that movie's only rated PG, isn't it?
I'm sure it's PG-13.
But either way, like, oh my god, that's... I don't know.
You saw it.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. You know what? That one particular death that gets dragged, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Great
that
payoff.
the death that is seemingly that's a villain's death. That was a death that should have befallen a villain in the movie, not
Yes.
innocent bystander person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like there's a death scene, CJ, in Jurassic World that goes on for, I swear, about 20-25 minutes.
Like I said, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I exaggerate,
Kinda
but
bad.
Wow.
it's a death scene though that gets dragged out way long. Just like the camera follows this person being just dragged around and beaten and pummeled and eventually killed.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but it's not like the villain who you would expect to see that happen to. It's just, like I said, innocent bystander. And you're just like, what? Come on!
Hey Phil, do you remember seeing the South Park movie?
Yeah, I
In
did
the
see the
theater?
South Park movie in the theater, yeah.
Yeah. You saw it. I think we went to see it together.
Did we?
If I remember correctly.
That
Maybe?
might be kind of tough because I was living in Missouri at the
Oh,
time.
maybe not. Okay. So
So-
it was the usual group, though. I guess you weren't there.
Right.
at that time. But yeah, there was like a 6 and 7-year-old that had gone to the movie with their parents.
So it was
The movie.
it was like the plot of the movie being played out in the theater.
That's right.
Kids sneaking in to see the movie.
These are the same people that
ridiculous.
yell at EB clerks for not letting them, not selling Grand Theft Auto to their children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the parents were there, but yeah, they weren't being very parental.
They weren't parenting.
I will say the South Park movie is the most I've ever laughed in a movie theater. So,
Yeah.
not to say it's the funniest movie I've ever seen, but it's the most that a movie has ever made me laugh.
For me, that had to be
Oh,
Batman
wow.
and Robin.
It isn't. Yeah, it isn't the Godzilla remake that we saw in the theater.
Oh, that was just a lot of groaning.
Or what about Jason X? I think Jason X.
Jason X was fantastic.
That was a laugh a minute.
That one's, oh my god, the throwback scene in Jason X made that whole movie
Oh
worth
my
it.
god, yeah.
The movie's great.
Slamming the sleeping bag against the tree. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I just lost it when it's.
If you have not seen Jason X, get
See
that
Jason X.
on your Netflix queue and watch that because that is cinema gold right there. And you get to see the guy who voiced Link in the Legend of Zelda cartoon get
Really?
Get a comeuppance.
Because he deserves whatever he gets. Oh, Phil.
Yeah. He's an actor in that movie, hilariously enough.
Yeah.
As the mask there.
This is not just a take this off.
Was that from Skylanders?
That was from Phil's career as a hockey goalie.
This is not just a Jason mask, as you can see from the kind of light teal blue color. This is
it's a Jason. It's an 8-bit Jason mask.
Oh,
in fact, an 8-bit Jason Friday the
that is
13th
amazing.
mask. So
Good job.
yeah, my plan for this Halloween is to go as NES Jason.
Nice.
So I just need a purple jumpsuit.
And just be surrounded by a really poor game.
Yes.
All right, so we were talking about Lego Jurassic World.
Yeah, which is it's a fun little Lego game, and
You having fun playing it with Finn?
I'm having a blast playing it with Finn. If you can play a Lego game, this is my first time playing a Lego game with the audience for which it was intended.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great fun, and yeah, he just I'll just go into the free play mode and pop in a dinosaur into his controller, and he gets to run around and stomp things, and
Nice.
I go about solving whatever puzzles need to be solved in the world to continue in the game, and we both have a blast. So
Nice.
yeah, good stuff. I'm sure I'll be playing more Lego games with him in the future.
All right.
So yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing.
All right, Greg.
I've mostly been playing a lot of the same stuff we talked about before. Playing more Witcher 3. Was commenting to a friend the other night that every time I play that game, I totally fall in love with it again. There's just the writing in that game is fantastic. But I'm not going to go into much more detail about it because I've talked about it for 3 weeks straight now. And we also just talked about Fallout Shelter. Although one thing I'll mention, and I don't know if you guys are seeing this or not, it crashes a lot.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm also playing it on iPad too, so I'm guessing that's why.
Well, that is probably contributing to it.
Yeah. I like it, but it without fail, every probably 5 minutes or so, it crashes.
You may also want to make sure you're on the latest version of iOS.
You know what? I'm not.
Because I think we're 8.3 or no, 8.4 is about to come out. So if you're not up to date, do that. That'll help.
I was just gonna get Windows 10 on it.
Yeah, have fun with that.
The only other new thing that I really played this week was I actually tried out the trial for Elite Dangerous on the PS4.
On PS4 or the Xbox One?
I thought it was PS4. Maybe it was Xbox One. No, it was Xbox One. You're right. I'm sorry.
Because they have the Long Dark and Elite Dangerous, I think, are the two early access games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't play it very long because the trial is it's not a very long trial. It's timed. So you download it and you play it, and I think from the moment you run it the first time, you're on a timer. Because I know that I actually, which I wish it had said somewhere. If it did, I didn't notice it, but I downloaded it really late one night, and I just sort of booted it to see that it worked, right? And then when I actually got a chance to sit down and play it, it says, yeah, you got less than a half an hour left on your trial. What? So that was kind of crappy. But I mean, it's really, I really like it. It plays well enough that I would actually consider playing it that way, because I don't feel like my PC, my laptop could actually run it all that well. So, but I enjoy playing with the controller enough that I would totally sit down and play Elite Dangerous on a console. It's pretty fantastic. It plays really well too. So, but that's really all that's the only other new thing I've been playing this week. I'm still playing Fire Emblem as well. But that's it.
All right. I'm playing Splatoon still.
We don't need to hear about that again.
They canceled the Splatfest that they were going to have this weekend. Yeah. Apparently, in the Japanese Splatfest, which was 2 weekends ago, they had some connectivity problems that prevented a lot of people from playing. So they were working on fixing that, and I guess they didn't find a fix yet. So instead, they postponed the Splatfest for North America and just kind of removed everything that had been building up for it.
That's too bad.
without explanation except for a tweet about it. So
Bummer.
yeah, but that game is still awesome.
Yes.
Still having a lot of fun with it. So if you have
Yes,
if you
it
have a
is.
Wii U and you haven't played it, check it out because it is so good. Even if you don't like shooters generally, it's a ton of fun. Anyway, all right, should we get to some tweets?
I have a suggestion before we get to tweets.
What's that?
Let's do another clap.
Well, of course, I was
Okay.
good.
I just wanted to make sure you remembered.
do that. I remember. Let's do it.
Just
All right, 3, 2, 1. Excellent.
excellent.
All
Groovy.
right. Let's do this tweet from hacker alias Decoder Otter, who says, "What old black box NES game would you like to see Nintendo revive?
Urban
Wrecking
Champion.
Crew, Wrecking Crew, Balloon Fight, etc." Urban Champion is your actual answer.
There you
Metroid.
Wrecking Crew's good. I mean, they did revive that in 1998
That's true.
for a game that only came out in Japan, Wrecking Crew
Yeah.
98. And it's
I'd like
really
to
good, actually.
I'd like to see that hit Virtual Console.
That would be great.
Yeah.
If
And,
Nintendo would say anything more about Virtual Console, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the other thing. There wasn't like one breath of that at E3 at all.
And
Yeah.
Greg,
Hmm.
Metroid was not a black box title.
Oh, wasn't it?
That was a silver box.
Oh, I didn't realize.
That and Kid Icarus were in silver boxes.
Well, nobody wants
Wasn't
Kid Icarus to be
Rad
revived.
Racer and Silver
Hey. Huh?
Box?
Red
Silver Box?
Racer, I think it was.
There's always Excite Bike. I'd like to see
There's always
do
Excite
something
Bike.
with Excite Bike.
Well,
Actually, you know what?
yeah.
Relancer, Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
I would love to see some new form of pro wrestling.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'd just like to see one of the pro wrestling characters show up in Smash Brothers, quite frankly.
That'd be good too.
Yeah.
I'd dig that.
Yes.
Bring back Rad Racer.
It's not
It's
a black
not
box game.
but
How about Mock Rider?
Mock Rider. I really enjoyed Mock Rider.
That's a rare game, if I remember correctly.
Is it?
I think so.
What about Slalom? Oh wait, they're bringing that back in the rare replay.
That's a rare game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to double check on Mock Rider. NES.
Yeah, I liked Slalom. I rented that back in the day. And quite enjoyed it.
I lied. That was developed by Nintendo.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I must have been confusing it with Slalom. So,
There you go.
Donkey Kong Jr. Math.
Excellent. All right. Hacker alias Esteban says, how much pressure will publishers feel to allow Xbox One/360 backwards compatibility? Could this become a public relations hell for some?
I don't understand. I mean, I guess there'll probably be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, I'm curious if there's any cost involved for the publisher. I mean, the way Microsoft sold it, obviously, is like all they have to do is come tell us they want backwards compatibility. But I'm sure
Right.
there's more to it.
That doesn't tell the whole story, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there has to be, we have to run it through certification again, and that's maybe going to have a cost attached to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a lot of things like that are free to the game developer
Not usually.
or publisher.
I don't know. I was
And-
reading some guy online talking about Kickstarter. He seemed to know a lot about game development budgets, and he was saying that.
That's right. I mean, there are a lot of games on the 360 that I'd love to see come over, like Burnout.
Yeah, the good
Probably
burnouts.
won't. So, yeah, or games where the studio is closed down and the publisher has stopped doing as many games. You're not going to see any of that stuff.
And
Or it's
of course, licensed
unlikely
stuff.
that you'll see that. It will probably be easier for the games that are actually available digitally as downloads on the Xbox 360 already, which isn't everything. but that certainly makes it easier.
I would think, yeah, because I mean, the infrastructure is already in place for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Fast forward 6 months, and then we'll see what kind of nightmare it is.
They're promising something like, what is it, like 100 games by the end of the year?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although then, what is the company that does all the frame rate analyses? Did one on Mass Effect, because Mass Effect is one of the games that's available during the preview period.
I forget the name of it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, and they're saying that it's basically unplayable.
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 Really?
Okay.
Now, I wonder if that's unplayable in, graphic horror terms, or unplayable in real terms. But that's what they're saying.
I should find my disc and try it.
Yeah. All right, Hacker Alias 311 Phillies says, what was your biggest surprise and biggest disappointment from E3?
That The Last Guardian is still a thing, and it's on the PS4 now. Definitely, and of course Shenmue 3. I'd have to say both those together.
Yeah, those are both big surprises.
Biggest disappointment, I mean, take your pick from the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd say that they're making another South Park RPG is a surprise.
Really?
You're surprised by that? Like, the stick of truth?
They did say, and they called this out on stage, they said that they were never going to make another video game again, right? Trey Parker and Matt Stone?
Well, I believe they said that after the,
after the N64
N64 game, yeah. So.
To be fair, they were working with THQ, so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's I think backwards compatibility is actually probably the biggest surprise. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah?
Yeah. Disappointment, I'm also going to say anything from the digital event. Animal Crossing board game, what?
Oh, God. When they first started showing it, too, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Because I really, really want a proper Animal Crossing game on the Wii U that my kids can have their own characters in and we can all play in the same town.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just never happening now. So.
I think it might happen on the NX.
Maybe.
That's probably what they're saving it for, right?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, let's just do this thing. And on the Treehouse Live segment, they were like teasing or hinting that there are other aspects of Amiibo Festival that they have yet to reveal, and I was like, you cannot, like, unless one of those reveals is it's also a full Animal Crossing game, then I'm not interested in anything you have to say about that. Anyway. Hacker alias A Scott X says, if you could play an HD remaster or remake of any 8 or 16-bit sports game, what game would you choose?
Blades of Steel.
Zany Golf?
Bulls versus Blazers?
Bulls versus Blazers?
Yeah.
What?
Sure, why not?
Seemingly random.
Yeah. Let's just pick that one out of the air.
The first one that popped into your mind?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, I liked EA's basketball games back in Lakers versus Celtics and Bulls versus Blazers in those days. So
Jordan versus Bird.
No, that one I didn't care for.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But wasn't that like a one-on-one?
Yeah.
That was like a different engine altogether, I think.
I never played any of them. So.
Well,
from Canada, we didn't play those sports games until they released the NHL series.
Remember when EA made their own multi-tap for the Genesis?
Yeah, I have one.
What was it called?
The multi-tap wars, the EA 4-play.
There you go.
I think. I've got it sitting over across the room here. If I'd have to dig through some boxes.
Nice.
Yes, Sega released their own version, and EA released their own version, which was not compatible with... They weren't compatible with each other.
That's right.
Sega's would not work on EA sports games, and EA's would not work on Sega sports games.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing stuff. Hacker alias Nameva says, of what we saw at E3, which games are you chaps excited for that people haven't been talking too much about?
That people haven't been talking too much about? Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Lego Dimensions count?
Yeah, nobody was talking about that after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lego Dimensions.
Lego Dimensions. What about Recore? I want to see more about Recore. It's a shame they didn't show any gameplay from that one. I would have liked to have seen something.
Tells me that that's actually a ways away.
Yeah. I'm probably right.
Like, that'll be a big game next E3.
Yeah. All right. Hacker alias Gunstar Gamer says, what do you guys think of the Elite controller for the Xbox One? I think the price tag is insane. That's the $150 customizable controller for the Xbox One.
I loved it until I saw the price tag.
I heard people who tried it at E3 saying great things about it, but
$150?
$150.
Probably not that great.
No thanks.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I actually don't want to replace the parts in my controllers. Does that seem weird? Like, well,
No.
I don't want to have to pop off a D-pad thing, or I mean, it's just another.
You don't have to. It's an option. It's not a requirement.
I mean, it's an option, yeah, but you know.
My big thing is, and I think a lot of places now, like, you normally have laminate or hardwood flooring because wall-to-wall carpeting is not really a thing so much anymore. And I don't trust that it would survive a fall in my house. I don't want to buy a $150 controller with 3 kids running around and it falls and breaks.
Yeah. Well, you know, it comes with a carry case. What you could do is just throw a lock on
whatever.
And every time you take it out, it'll be like you're taking out a power glove or something. You know?
Oh man,
so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been burned on Microsoft hardware purchases before, like the headsets that they've made in the past. Like I just haven't had very good luck.
That 360 controller they made with the pop-out D-pad?
Yeah, how many times have they made a different controller that they say is going to be better that ultimately is not?
Once.
So, yeah, well, they're doing it again.
When they replaced the Duke. That was the only time it was true.
Oh, this was the only time it's true. Yes.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. The controller Type S.
Type S.
That was great.
Controller.
On the original Xbox. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hacker alias NCS115 says he's got 2 tweets about Nintendo here. Why does Nintendo feel that they need to have a gimmick attached to each underpowered console they release? Kind of a loaded question there.
Yeah.
And then a follow-up there. Do you agree that if they put out a console that developed similarly to the competition, they would get third-party support?
I don't know if I agree to that.
I don't know if I agree with that anymore.
I mean, if they put out a system that was, equal in power and just, pretty much another PlayStation or Xbox, why would any third companies say, "Oh, let's start developing for them too"?
Yeah.
In addition to
why would they then put exclusive? I'm sure then the next question would be not only games being put on that system, but what exclusives are you going to have, right?
Right.
Well, you still have the Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah, the only exclusives you're going to have are the first-party stuff anyway.
I mean, I think that, and I think history has sort of shown that anybody buying a Nintendo console has generally just bought the Nintendo exclusives.
Right.
I mean, I don't think a lot of third parties have seen a ton of success on Nintendo platforms.
No.
In the past. Even 3DS. I mean, 3DS is still a fairly good platform, but third parties aren't falling all over themselves to make games for that.
That part's true, although I don't really agree with what you're saying on the console side because, third parties did see amazing success on Nintendo platforms up until the mid-90s.
That's true.
Right?
Until there was a viable...
Well... Yeah, I mean,
system.
There was a viable alternative through the early 90s, too, but the thing was that the mid-90s is also where they split off from the mainstream. They tried to stay the mainstream, and they weren't anymore. And as soon as the N64 happened, that's when in my mind, that's when you started seeing the whole having to stop and wonder, is it worth developing for a third party, as a third party developing for Nintendo consoles, because it wasn't as simple as, a code base that you could transfer easily from one console to another, and it's been that way since. So yeah, sure, it doesn't happen anymore, but I mean the question has merit really when you think about it, because third parties haven't seen major success really on Nintendo platforms ever since Nintendo started sort of going away from the mainstream. So
yeah, I suppose that's true. Although, I mean, even porting to other platforms, like there isn't, there aren't two machines, except I guess in this generation, there haven't been two machines with the same architecture, even in previous generations. So I don't know. I mean, if Nintendo goes with Android for the NX, I don't think that's going to necessarily encourage, EA or Activision or other companies to come back to Nintendo to port their games to Android. I mean, may bring a bunch of previously mobile games over to that platform, but I don't know. I don't know that that's good necessarily for Nintendo anyway. I mean, I think Nintendo, why do they need to have a gimmick? I mean, that's always been their thing, right? I mean, if you go back and you look at the history of Nintendo and Yamauchi, his whole thing was like, how can we make a system out of the cheapest possible parts that people are going to enjoy owning, right? I mean, that's like Nintendo's entire history is based on that. How can we take something that is, economical for us to make, and we can make a bunch of money on it? So, if that means we have to add a gimmick to make ourselves seem different, then why not? I don't know. I love the Wii U. I love that gamepad. I think it's great. I know a lot of people don't, but the Nintendo fan in me, I guess. All right, what else we got here? Hacker alias Alex DeLarge 1978 says, best and worst wrestling game ever.
I'm not the right person to ask this.
No Mercy is the best. No
What
Mercy.
about pro wrestling for the NES? Come on, we were just talking.
Pro wrestling is great, but No Mercy is the best one.
Yeah.
And for worst, I'm going to say Muscle for NES.
Muscle, that was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Cutie Suzuki, no Ringside Angel.
Which one's that filed under?
The best.
Ah, very good.
No pro wrestling?
I don't know
I'll
wrestling.
say pro wrestling.
There was a couple Fire Pro wrestlings that I played on the Saturn. They were pretty awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right, Hacker alias CTB says Metroid Prime Federation Force had 1,500 likes and 15,000 dislikes
Oh my God.
the day it was shown on YouTube. Does this metric matter?
No. Not at all?
Yes, I'd say it does.
Does it really? Does it?
I think the public perception of your game definitely matters, right? I mean, in the digital event, and I think we were talking about this earlier.
Does it matter to Nintendo though?
I think it does.
Yeah,
I think it definitely does.
Really?
I think the 3DS is sort
That's hardly an accurate poll though.
Yeah, but it's a pretty obvious message. Like,
No.
okay, it's not an accurate poll, but at the same time, it's not like it's a close number.
Okay.
right.
It's not like it's, anyway. It's not like it's 10,000 to 15,000. That I would say, that's pretty iffy. But
I think the problem is when your most loyal fan base is actively disliking something that you're making. That sends a pretty strong message.
Yeah.
It should, anyway.
whether they act on it, hard to say. I don't know if it's worth acting on, but I think that it matters.
Did you read the Stephen Totillo piece on Kotaku about this game?
I can't remember the last time I read a Stephen Totillo piece on anything.
So he interviewed the director of this game, and he kept trying to, like, his questions were, I'm just trying to understand what this game is. Like, tell me what this game is.
What was going through your head?
That's basically what the
Why are you
interview
terrible
was.
at your job?
And it was sort of, I mean, the question was, you don't have the audio of it to match, but it's kind of insulting. I don't know. It is basically like, why are you making this? The question is, why are you making this instead of the game that we want? Like, I'm trying to understand your thought process. And the guy sort of goes into this explanation where, they made Metroid Prime Hunters before, and this was a game design that he had been thinking about for like 10 years, and so now was a good time to do it. And Nintendo's trying to expand the universe of their franchises, and the interview just did not seem to go well at all. He just kept asking, well, I don't understand your thought process.
Oh boy.
Reminds me of that the Peter Molyneux interview where the interviewer there also confused holding someone's feet to the fire with being insulting.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that it has to go through a translator first in some of these interviews is even worse.
Probably not helping.
No. All right, Hacker Alias RWebA says, what are the most exciting and most concerning trends you saw in this year's E3?
The most concerning one is the one that's been there forever, which is still the yearly release.
Yeah.
Franchises. I don't think that's ever been a good thing.
Yeah.
The most exciting trend. Sony showing us lots of stuff that I really want. I don't know.
I think the most exciting trend this year for me was more games with female protagonists. I thought that was
Does that
great.
excite you?
It excites me that I'm going to need to play as all these powerful ladies. No, I mean,
really?
No, I mean, I think it's great that we have Recore and we have that Horizon game from Sony, and that there are more games with female lead characters. I think that's awesome. It's something that was a hot topic last year for sure, and wasn't getting into the games of last year. So to have Assassin's Creed or the games this year having women in more lead roles is great. That's great. Most concerning, I actually don't like the VR trend.
Yeah, I'm not.
I find it hard to get excited about it, and especially not when you've got like 3 competing platforms. Like I basically just want like one to be considered the winner, and then maybe I'll try that. But it's just awful. It's kind of ridiculous.
Kind of an awful expensive thing to jump into when that hasn't been decided yet.
No, I mean, one of the most confusing portions of Microsoft's press event was that first they're working with Valve on VR, then they are working with Oculus on something, and then here's HoloLens also. It's just like, can you come up with one $300 thing that I might be enticed to buy? Like I'm not down with it. It's very similar to like 3D TVs, and I know a lot of people were into 3D televisions, but I just had no interest whatsoever. In that.
No.
So
I'm the same way.
And I don't know if you saw this. So the HoloLens, when they demoed it, they had that full range of view. Apparently, when you actually have the thing on your face, it's only a small portion of that.
Oh yeah.
So, oops. Good times. All right.
It's too bad.
It is. Let's wrap up with this one. Hacker
Okay.
alias WeGraph says, are annualized game series ever a good thing, or do they always lead to a loss of quality?
Almost always lead to a loss of quality.
Yeah.
Although I will say I still like the way Activision handles the annualized Call of Duty setup.
Okay.
I lost interest in those games a long time ago, but the whole two teams thing
hmm
totally makes sense. That's definitely the way to do that stuff if you're going to do it.
Hmm.
But even then, it's just like, honestly, 2 years is not really that long to make a game like that.
Right.
So, and you end up having code base that you share over game to game to game, and the problem is that it gets kind of rickety and old, and you have legacy bugs that just kind of sit there and they never go away, and then you have to hack them to fix them, and it's the same thing with EA Sports games. That's why you always get you'll get this really great game, and then it's sort of diminishing returns for a few years, and then it kind of hits rock bottom, and then they go into this rebuild phase where it stays in that valley for quite a while, and then it'll pop back up to a great game again, and then you just go through the whole cycle again.
Right. Yeah, I think it's every other Assassin's Creed that's good.
Yeah.
Like they have off years. This year is an on year. So maybe
Excited.
it'll be good. We'll see.
I like the setting.
Yeah. Hey, they're making a sequel to The Crew.
Oh my God, really?
Oh.
Did you see that?
No.
Oh,
Nuh-uh.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Did not.
More Crew coming.
Crew 2?
Crew 2.
Electric Boogaloo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crew 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it.
I think
All
it's
right,
called
thanks.
2 Crew.
Is that it?
2 Crew Live.
2 Live Crew?
Mm-hmm. I told your 2 Live Crew that with your mother's story to someone the other day.
Yeah.
I think your mother is they said that's the greatest parenting moment I've ever heard, and I have to remember that if I ever have children.
Yeah. That's a pretty great story. What
yes,
episode was
it
that
is.
that I told that story?
That was a while ago.
It was.
Yeah.
It's worth hunting down that story because
Yep.
oh my God, talk about embarrassing.
You wearing your wife's watch again?
No, this is mine.
Oh, okay. You
Uh-huh.
used to have meaty wrists. I think that's the problem.
I used to have meaty wrists.
No,
No,
you do
you just
meaty
have.
wrists.
Oh, I do have meaty wrists.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. All right then. I think that's a good stopping
I think we're done.
Alrighty, that is our show for this week. If you would like to ask us a question or perhaps comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Craig Stewart.
Greatest system ever.
Generation 16 episodes.
Greatest console series ever.
Yep. And a message board where you can discuss this very episode with us and our other listeners.
Second best message board ever.
Yep.
What's the first?
I don't know. I just assume there's something better out there.
Well, yeah.
Probably.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting PlayerOnePodcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're out there, iTunes Music Store, $9.99.
Cheap.
Pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails and the Twitters and the what have yous. Yes, of all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can join our Steam group. You can go to youtube.com/P1Podcast to watch old episodes. You can watch us live most weeks on the YouTube. So just follow our Twitter account to find out when we will be doing that. If you've liked what you've heard and how could you can head over to Patreon. patreon.com/P1podcast and throw a few shekels our way. And if you're feeling a little extra generous, or if you just want to give all your money to Seward instead of us, you can head over to generation-16.com, where Greg has a link to his Patreon account for the fantastic web series Generation 16.
Thanks, Phil.
I highly recommend it.
Go watch episode 16.
But I highly recommend a lot of stuff.
It's true.
So
But he really means this.
But I do. CJ,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, thank you, Phil.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Greg,
You.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. To our good friend Mike, thank you. We hope to have you back on sometime soon.
Indeed.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Mike is gone for family reasons at the moment, but he will hopefully be back soon. So, hearts and kisses out to Mike. And I guess we'll see everyone next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh, bye.
Bye.